everyone, we're going to use the binomial series to expand the function as a power series and also state the radius of convergence. So I'm going to use this form here and look at it. To get that form, I want to have it looking like 1 plus x to the power of k. So I'm going to rewrite this as 1 minus a negative x, or plus a negative x, and then my power is going to be to the power of 1/4. So now I can write this as the sum from n equals 0 to infinity, and my k is 1/4. Then we have our n, and times, instead of x, is going to be negative x to the power of n. All right. And just remember this, we're going to get our radius of convergence for this, and that means our absolute value of negative x has to be less than 1, because doing this is going to get a little messy. So let's go ahead and expand this. This is going to equal, for your first term, we're starting at 0, so we're doing a sub 0. So our first term is going to be 1, then we're going to have plus 1/4 times negative x, then we're going to have plus k. Now I'm right here, so this is my first term. Now this term here is going to be 1/4 times 1/4 minus 1. 1/4 minus 1 is negative 3/4. And then you divide that by 2 factorial, and then we still have negative x squared. All right, and continuing on, we'll do plus 1/4. Now we're on this one. So this one, this was a sub 2. This would be a sub 3. So this one's going to be 1/4 times your negative 3 divided by 4. And then you do your negative 3 divided by 4 minus 1. That's going to be negative 7/4. And then we're dividing by 3 factorial now. And then for our little x here, that's going to be negative x cubed. And then we have our plus ... All right. So from there, what we want to do, so we can get some pattern here, and this usually happens with your binomial expansions, we're going to pull out these first two terms. So we're going to write this as 1 minus 1/4 x, and then I just pulled out this negative, and then write plus the sum. Now we're starting at our second term, so we're going to go n equals 2 to infinity. All right, and now let's see what we can do to condense this. This is going to give us, for these alternating terms here, we're going to get negative 1 to the power of n minus 1. And then for our x, since we have negative x, that's going to be negative 1 to the nth power. Now this is just going to turn out to be negative 1, so don't worry about that. All right, so after that, I'm going to go diagonal here. We have 3, then 3 times 7, and the next one's going to be, if we went on and on, we'd have 3 times 7 times, you keep adding 4, 11, plus, or it's just times ... And then after that, we have to find a formula for this series here. We're going by 4s. So this is going to be 4n. And since we're starting at a sub 2, if you do 4 times 2, we have to subtract 5 to get a 3. So this is going to be ... 4n minus 5. And that's going to give us this part right here. So if I plug in a sub 3, I'll get 7 and so forth. All right. Now for the denominator, we have this 1/4 part. Well, let's start here. I'm just going to put in the denominator, and that's just going to be 1/4 to the power of n. And then also for these right here, that's just going to be n factorial. All right, from there we can simplify this and pull, oh, and then we still had x to the power of n. I took out the negative and I put it here. Now when you multiply these two, that's just going to give you -1. So I'm going to change that sign to negative and simplify this. So we finally going to get the sum of, let's write the first two terms first, sorry. So we're going to have 1 minus 1/4 x minus the sum. And again, we're starting at n equals 2 to infinity. And we just have 3 times 7 times, if you want to put the 11, or you can leave that out. And then this is the pattern, 4n minus 5. And we have 4 to the nth power times n factorial times x to the power of n. Now, like I said before, we had 1 plus negative x to the power 1/4. So your radius of convergence is you use that and write absolute value negative x must be less than 1/4 to be converged. So basically this just means negative x is greater than -1, but smaller than 1. If you divide everything by negative, you're going to get 1. You have to switch the signs. Is greater than x is greater than -1. So the radius of convergence is just going to equal 1. So it's just going to end up being the same. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.